Hi, Sairaj. To begin with, I would like to ask you, you made an appearance on, Shark Tanks, right? And that was your big moment of visibility for a lot of small businesses and companies, startup companies. Visibility is like the major struggle to begin with. How has life changed for you after that? And what was your process of reaching there? What made you really go and be there on a platform like that?
Hi, thanks so much. So yes, so I keep saying this, and I've said it in multiple forums before that I had a life before Shark Tank and one after Shark Tank, post Shark Tank. So it was pre and post. Life changed quite a bit, because so even today it was on. So I was in season one. I came 2 years ago, and even just the other day I was at the India finals in Ahmedabad, and I clicked almost 5 to 6 selfies at the stadium. So, what I'm trying to tell you is that that impact was so huge that even 2 years down the line, the recall is still there because people watched it on Sony Entertainment at prime time. It's all across. My video, which Sony put on YouTube, has more than 4.5 million views. Um, so that changed quite a bit. So it's a no-brainer for anyone watching this, any startup. If you get a platform like Shark Tank, a chance to go on something like that, just grab it with both hands. There's no thinking twice about it. Okay, that's point one. The most important thing with something like a Shark Tank or an opportunity like this is that how you leverage it, because it will come and it will go, but you need to leverage it, and I think that's one of the reasons why we've remained relevant till today, in spite of coming 2 years back. There were a lot of startups that came on the show, right? But it's not that you remember all of them, and that's why social media is such a strong tool, and you need to know to play the game right. And there's no perfect way of playing it right, but you need to keep trying. So even my journey to reach Shark Tank was just by chance. A friend of mine who runs an agency, performance marketing agency, mentioned to me, said, Sairaj, Shark Tank are India, why don't you apply? And Shark Tanks, all of us have heard of. We've grown up watching different Shark Tanks across the world. Uh, so again, it was a no-brainer. I see spot an opportunity, however small it may be, I jump onto it. So I filled that form. I sent it. One form led to another, and it was a journey. It was a process, uh, and and I got the opportunity. And I was one of the out of 80,000 entries. We were like 200 of us were selected for the final TV round, out of which just 60 of us got funded. And yeah, so it was a lifetime opportunity. And I knew one thing, that if you come on TV, India is a country where uh, if you come on TV, it changes your whole perception. You can reach such a big
You made it.
audience. Suddenly you
Yeah.
reach such a huge audience,
Yeah. Yeah.
which would otherwise take you years. And and it's just 150 people, 150 companies that are getting that opportunity in the year. So yeah, it's a great opportunity, a lifetime opportunity. But post that, uh, like I said, how do you leverage? What are the key ways in which? Because today content is king, and what Shark Tank gives you is, it gives you a stamp of, say, see, for life. I can put it as seen on Shark Tank. I can use that logo for life. No one can stop me. I was seen. So, but it gives you a sense of that this company is good, but then how you build on it and how you deliver on it, through your product has to do the talking, your service has to do the talking, your campaigns have to do the talking. So then that whole thing, after that, actually that's just the start coming on TV. Post that is how you leverage and how you use it to your advantage, and how you are honest with the consumers.
So there are a couple of things you mentioned. Let me begin with, since we've gotten
Yeah,
into Shark Tank. I think the one thing
yeah,
which stood out for me on the appearance that you made was your pitch. I mean, it was
yeah.
like pop. It just popped. So what is the process of getting that perfect standout elevator pitch?
Yeah.
If yeah.
So see, there are two, three things over here. When you pitch, one is that, so there's also like, I'll tell you one thing very honestly, is that I like talking and I like pitching and I like doing all of this, and I like the camera. I'm not camera shy. So that worked for me. And I'm being honest here. That really helped me in that whole process. I wanted to be on camera. And there are a lot of people and a lot of friends who I know, and a lot of people who are pitching there also, who are a little scared, intimidated. I was, but then more than intimidated, I was excited and I wanted to do it. So that helps. One is that you need to release your nerves, be really easy when you're going for this kind of a pitch. Pitching there is completely different in a big way from pitching in front of an investor in a closed room or just one to one or just like how we are talking. Because there, at the back of the mind, you know that more than a million people are going to watch you. This is going to come everywhere on TV. So you need to be your best. Uh, as far as the pitch is concerned, is for Shark Tank, how it works is that a lot of people talk a lot of things about Shark Tank, even without being there ever and without even knowing what happens. But I'll tell you the real thing that happens. You are told to make your own pitch. So I had a 3 minute pitch of my own, which I made, and I thought it was pretty good and pretty decent. Uh, but when you have to send that to the Shark Tank guys after you're selected, this you send a transcript, you send a video, then they decide whether they want to tweak it a little because obviously it's coming on TV. So even I didn't know that and I didn't expect that, but they tweaked my pitch to suit TV. So what they say is that it's simple. These 3 minutes are for you to make an impression on the sharks and the audience is watching. So they take your business points and they just make it a little more, they rhyme it or they add a little color to it, make it more funny or whatever. So they see at the end of the day, they know what works on TV and what's the best for the audiences. And they do. So I asked them a question. I said, see, a lot of my business points, which I otherwise packed up into the 3 minutes, is not there in this pitch which you've made for me. It's more like I don't know how to call it, but it was more like dramatic and to grab attention and to get everyone to hear me. So they made a very simple statement, which I really liked. They said, see, Sairaj, you're going to be there in the tank for more than 45 minutes to an hour. If they like your pitch, you'll be there for 45 minutes. If they don't, then probably 15, 20, 30 minutes you'll be out. And trust us, they said, in the 45 minutes, they're going to ask you everything about your business from top to bottom. So whatever needs to come from your business will come. But these 3 minutes are for you to make an impact. So trust us and what we're saying and go with it. So I trusted them completely. And like now, even you remember my pitch. And I'm sure, people don't know what happened after the 3 minutes. They could remember a few things, but you normally, what sticks in your mind is the first 3 minutes. Like when you come, like, good morning, Sharks. Main hu Sairaj, don't know. So, that is what remains. And I think they get it perfectly right. And that's also a learning for us, Now, today, if I pitch completely differently from what I used to do before. So I now know what is it, how you need to get the attention of the public. And that is how the Shark Tank pitch works. And I think it's different from how it would work with a normal investor. You don't go in front of an investor and start doing dramatic things. But, but
How
that's the
how
difference.
different how different is it to pitch in a boardroom? What is the strategy that you use?
Um, One thing that I think everyone needs is just first you need to be completely honest and don't try to put on a persona or a personality. Don't try to be uh, overly loud or try and put something. Just be yourself. So each person is different, and I just go with my personality. I see every founder has one thing which has to be there, otherwise he's not a founder, and that is a fire in the belly. You may be an introvert, you may be an extrovert, you may be loud, you may be soft, you may be a good orator, you may not be a good orator, but that fire in the belly, that passion for water building has to be there, and that has to translate in whatever way. It's not in your voice, but it's just in your body language. It's somewhere that it has to translate, and that comes out naturally. So when I pitch before anyone, it's just that it has to translate. What I'm feeling from within has to translate. There has to be honesty in your numbers. There has to be honesty in what you're trying to build. There has to be honesty in what you're trying to promise. You cannot promise the sky and the moon and just because you want to raise. Because see, at the end of the day, the investors are seasoned people. Yeah, they are not someone who you can take for a ride. They'll cut through all the crap, and they'll understand what is there. So you just need to be very honest. You need to be very honest about what you're building. You need to be honest about the problem you're solving. You need to be honest about the numbers that you can achieve, that you're achieving, that you can achieve. And then it aligns. If they trust you, which is difficult. It's very difficult, for someone to part with their money and to trust someone who they don't know at all. It's easier to raise a friends and family around because they trust you, they know you, they've seen you grow, they believe in your ability. But when it's just a investor, I would not trust someone very easily with my money. So it's about that. It's about building that trust and gaining their confidence, and always wanting to live up to that confidence that they've shown in you. That is the most important thing, and if that comes out, I think it's a good elevator pitch.
So like you said, being on Shark Tanks was step number one. How did you go ahead and, what were the challenges rather in leveraging that position in terms of
Uh,
visibility?
so what happens is there are many Shark Tank pitches that happen one after the other, and now it's season 2. Now season 3 is going to come up. So there are a lot of as seen on Shark Tank. There are a lot of people now in India who have come on Shark Tank. So in that whole thing, sometimes there is also uh, the person who they connect with, and the India is a lot of person driven, founder driven. They like to see what's happening, how things are happening. So one thing is that you need to be very clear with what is your positioning, who you're reaching out to. You can't just go there spamming everybody. It doesn't work that way, and it will never work. So you need to find your TG. You need to find your target audience. So if I'm selling a product which probably no one who watches Shark Tank consumes, then what is the use? There's no point. I'm hitting the wrong door. So you need to understand now this my product sells a lot in students, in the younger generation, in the fitness people who want to lead a healthy lifestyle. So we target that, we try to connect with them. So you use the branding wherever you can. You use the as seen on branding, as seen on Shark Tank branding as much as possible. You also try to reach out personally. Like as a founder, I reach out a lot personally and I interact a lot with my consumers. Because today people want to see the face behind the brand. They want to see what's happening, uh, what goes into making that brand. There are products, but when you have a human touch to that product, and it's not only about me, it's also about the team. So we have a lot of team interaction. So today when we build content also, one is that what happens with the product, how do you use the product, educate about the product. The other thing is about the people behind the product and how product is being built, how the brand is being built. We would like our consumers to be part of us, our clients to understand. uh, they have to feel like Wakao is one of their own family, their own company, and they should feel at the end of the day, people don't buy products. They buy they buy the story. They buy what you're building, how you're building. So
So, like you said, people buy into the story, right? And I see that your social media handle.
yeah,
Are we there,
yeah,
Sairaj?
just got stuck for a bit.
Okay, no, no.
Then
So, like we are saying, like you said, people buy into the story, the face, and the story behind the brand. Um, I can see your social media. You seem to be having fun on your social media handle, and I also see that you're trying to showcase that story. Behind the brand, you're trying to showcase the team. You're trying to, you're out
yeah.
there on the social media handles. Uh, can you please tell us, if as a message to other startup companies or small businesses, why is it important to have an online presence, and how does it help them with maybe your own case? How has being present online really changed your business
So
dynamics?
I'll tell you one thing very honestly. Social media and the online space has different platforms for different things.
Mm,
So one thing that I tell everybody is that you have to be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one platform where it is a professional to professional connect. It is not about having fun on LinkedIn. It's about telling people what you're doing. It's telling people what are your thoughts about the ecosystem, about what you do. Are you a thought leader in what you're building? Do you understand what you're building? Uh, how you connect with people. So a lot of my businesses happened on LinkedIn. A lot of my export business happens on LinkedIn. Uh, I think so. I'll give you a simple example. I got listed on Blinkit through LinkedIn. Albinder put a post and I commented on that post, and my comment got around 80 likes. So I grabbed his attention. I sent him an email. He was very kind to immediately reply. But we were trying to get onboarded for so long. But LinkedIn helped us. Then my export orders have come a lot from LinkedIn. There's so many things that happen on LinkedIn. There's a direct connect. If I have to connect with someone, I can directly do it. So LinkedIn is a place where you have to be at it as a founder, as a business owner. because that's where people will see you. So today, if you earlier it was, if you have to look at someone, you used to first go and open Facebook and see what that guy does. Today in the business world, if there's anything that you want to do, anyone wants to check your, you'll open your LinkedIn profile. Have a good LinkedIn profile, and that's very important. Yeah, that's point one. Second is Instagram. Instagram, I think, is fun. Yeah, it's for me. For me, my personal page is my personal page. I don't think too much, and so my team tells me this. This is people are trying. They want to see what you're doing, what's happening in your life. But quite honestly, my page will always be what I do, and it won't be influenced by what I need to, what Wakao needs or what needs to be shown on Wakao. Or if you see me on the Wakao page, that is something that is a planned campaign, which the team and everyone thinks is right. It's not my decision. So if you see me too often, or see me giving gyan, or see me telling something or doing something, it's because they've made me sit there and do it. I like doing it, but they think that that is something which is important for the brand and for our consumers, and that's why we do it. But my personal handle on Instagram, see, I don't have a great following. Also, it's just I think some 4,000 or whatever. But I'm just having fun. I spend a lot of time. I have a lot of other activities that I like doing. I travel a lot now because of work. That's a very important part of my work. I play a lot of cricket. I have a good time with my son. I have a 5.5 year old son. So yeah, so that's how it is. But uh, I don't think it's a compulsion to be on Instagram and to show your life, and to, because some people are not comfortable doing it, and each one is own. Yeah, we are no one to judge anyone, but I like doing it. I'll do it. I won't force anyone. Like how I'm saying, LinkedIn you have to. Instagram is not you have to. Instagram is if you like to see what happens today is, every brand, a consumer facing brand, has to be on Instagram. And this I'm talking from a brand point of view, or not from personal. You have to be on Instagram. So there I'll say you have to, because everyone else is on Instagram. So if I have to check a brand, I'm not going to check it on LinkedIn. And today, Facebook is already gone. It's dead. It's no more working for all of that. Facebook is for uncle aunties to know what you're doing in life. And and for me, it's like that. When I want to tell the whole world, my neighbors and my relatives and all that we've done something, then I'll put it on Facebook so that everyone would know. But Instagram is where brands are built, and that's no denying about that. There's no denying. You have to be on Instagram. Your brand presence has to be there. Tomorrow, if I want to check out a brand which I want to purchase, I'm going to check it on Instagram, even before their website. Everyone checks Instagram even before checking the website, and that's a fact. And we all do that. So it is a no-brainer that your brand has to be there on Instagram. You have to create content. So again, Instagram, there are two ways of marketing. One is performance marketing, when you're trying to make a sale, or it's revenue-led ads. But that's one part of it, and that's a very expensive and a process which has a whole different science to it. But as far as content is concerned, as far as brand building is concerned, content is king, and you need to create great content. You need to create engaging content. Today the numbers say that you hardly have 3 seconds to grab the attention of your consumer when you're scrolling through a reel. Even any of us, we just whenever we immediately will scroll up. So you have those 2 or 3 seconds to get them to watch the rest of the 20-30 seconds that you've built. So today that's becoming very challenging. It's becoming, and there is no set pattern. Yeah, it's so difficult. It's so different today. Something may work, something may not work. So I put one small video once on my personal handle of me and my wife. So we've been dating for like 20 years now. We'll complete, and we are 35. So I put one video which was like when we were in the 10th standard, and then it turns in when we were like 18 years later. And it was just a simple video. I don't know. It got some 3.4 million views. It went viral. So you can never tell. And I have done such good videos, spending like 1 hour trying to put the transition and and they've never gone above 10K also. So you never Instagram and social media is unpredictable. You don't know what can really catch. There is a lot of algorithm that is attached to it. So yeah, I think you need to get some good minds to build your brand, the content behind your brand for Instagram and other social media.
So would you suggest that a small business or, a startup outsource the whole branding and marketing exercise as far as Instagram is concerned? Or
So
because that can get a lot
yeah,
of it's like a lot of people want to be out there and micro handle these things. Also financially it may not be viable at times to kind of recruit the big brands. How does one go about maneuvering this whole social media, play?
So I'll give you I'll tell you, and I'll tell you our journey also, because we started from, I'm still, by the way, I'm still bootstrapped, and every single day is a struggle. Now we're looking at raising around. Uh, but what happens is, it's a combination of how much you want to do and how much you have. So it's always in life, you have unlimited options but limited resources. So you have to choose from that. So now the most ideal scenario, and which any, so even when I was on Shark Tank, one thing that Ghazal and Vinita were very clear about was they said that you need to have an in-house social media team. Your branding social media has to be in-house. So that's something that we'll build and that they were building. They have. But if you have to build an in-house social media team, it's very expensive, because see, when you get an agency, you have to understand that it's one single point. You're paying almost the salary of one person, but you have a team of 3 to 4 people working for you.
Yeah.
Now, for them, the advantage is they have 10 other clients, so they can afford. So that's how the business works. But as a small business owner, you realize that you can pay the amount that you would pay to one good resource, but you get an agency working for you who is answerable, who you can keep. You have weekly meetings, calls, this, that you can hold them accountable. I think that's the best way for a small business. And agencies vary. There are small ones, very small ones. There are medium scale, and there are big agencies. So depends. Like I said, depends on how much you have. You select your agency, and and you then keep on improving and moving to a better agency if you feel the time is right. And one thing in business, I believe, is that it's nice to be, there is no such thing that someone will feel bad, or you have to stick on to someone or an agency or this, just because someone might feel bad. It's, at the end of the day, it's business, and as long as you're doing a fair deal, and everyone understands that, even the agencies understand that uh, if someone fair giving you a fair deal, everyone has the right to move on and to look at a better option. And that's always there. At the end of the day, we are custodians of our brands. We have to do what's right for our brand and can't let too much of emotion come into play. So you have to be very clear of what's the end game, what's the aim, what you want, what is the output that you want to get, and what are your resources available. So based on that, you have to. So, like I said at the start, it's ideal to have an in-house team, because uh, when it's your idea, because an agency has 10 other customers, you're not their sole attention. Like, it's not solely on you. So when you have an in-house agency, everything is about you, and they understand what's happening. But do you have the resources for it? The answer will be a no if you're small. So wait till you become big. And then if you think that your agency is not being able to fulfill what you want, then move to an in-house. But I don't think the direct aim should be to jump to an in-house thing, because one is that you will not get great people at the price that you are ready to pay. And then your content will be mediocre, which you should run far away from. Don't put mediocre content online. Put only good content. Try and improve your content. Or don't put also. But when you put bad content, it's counterproductive. It will hurt you. So it's best to get an agency, also maybe a smaller size. Evaluate. So I have changed like so many agencies, because sometimes it's not also the agency's mistake, but just that you don't align. And unless you have a soft spot, you understand, and your they understand what the brand is, what your aim is, it's difficult to. So we are happy that right now we are working with a very nice agency. It's been quite some time now, that it's a few more than a year and a half that we are working with them, and we are happy, we are aligned. I don't see a need for any change right now. So that's how it is. So I don't see a need for change right now. We are happy, we are aligned. But in the future, both of us also know that we both will evolve. There could be a change, and whenever the change comes, we'll sort it out amicably and move forward. But yeah, so that's how things work, I think, so with agencies.
So my next question is about, in the context of viral reels that are happening, like, take for example, looking like a wow, that's the trending thing now. And it's, imagine there's a woman who's been there in the business for so long, and just one viral reel, and life's changed for her.
Correct.
Now, if somebody like you, I mean, you and probably somebody like her, have the advantage of being comfortable in front of a camera, or the gift of the gab, like they say. You've been a lawyer. So, but for other people, they may not be so comfortable or to put themselves out there. Is it important to put your face on the brand, if it's a small business, for example? Is it necessary to do that, to be out there? And if yes, then what are the advantages? If no, then what are your reasons for that?
So answer obviously is no. There is no 100% need for the face to be there out with the brand. But if the face can be associated with the brand and it works, it's a huge added bonus. But there is no compulsion. Now, if you are someone who's absolutely shy and don't want to come in front of the camera, you like working behind the scenes, fair enough. Yeah, there's no problem. See, you don't need to be an extrovert to build a great brand. You don't need to be camera, not shy of the camera or camera friendly to build a great brand. These are only additional help-ons, which are okay. If you have it, is good. So I think one is that it's not required. It's not a necessity. You can always get someone else to be the face of the brand. That's okay. But now, when you're camera friendly or you like being in front of the camera, you like talking about a brand, there are a lot of advantages. And so, it is never a bad thing to try and become camera friendly. That's the second thing I want to say. So, if you are someone who doesn't like the camera, there is no harm in starting trying to get to like the camera. It's not a bad habit, it's a good thing to be camera friendly, to be someone who can talk, come and be an extrovert. Try to come out of your shell. Don't be an artificial, but you can always try to come out of your shell. It will only and only help. There's no downside to it. Okay, so that's the one thing. Now, how it helps is that a lot of people out there, and even including me, irrespective of what my thing is on with brand Wakao, I always love to see the founder. See, isn't it? So, don't we want to see the behind the scenes of a movie? We always like to see, right? It's human nature to see how this was made or how this is being made. Who are the people behind it? We've never seen the director's face, but we want to see who the director is. That's why those interviews are done. So it's like that. It's people they've heard Wakao. So many times people have said to me, we've heard Wakao, we've heard about Wakao. It's so nice to see you in person. So nice to see your face, the person who's building it. That is what happens, and that builds a connection. And like I said first, people at the end of the day will not buy a product, they'll buy an emotion, a story, a brand. So if you can connect with them at a personal level, at a direct level, and today because of social media, it becomes so easy to communicate. You can directly meet people, you can directly talk to them. I can do a live session, people can ask me questions. So I'll tell you honestly, when I do this, so we do something called as, we've taken a small break right now because I got tired of it. Is that we do something called as Saturday Sairaj. So they said it's working really well. The traction is very good. And again, this was not my idea. They completely forced me into doing it. They say that this has great traction because people want to talk to you. They want to know. And I used to put a question, like you can ask me any question. I swear there were so many questions that used to come. And it used to be flooded, and I used to take like 5 questions in a day. But that's when I realized that people want to ask things. And it's not only about me. People want to know, and there's so many different things. How did the idea come to you? How do I all building it? How are you all hiring? What kind of people do you look to hire? So there are so many things, that people want to know. And that will only happen if you are out there and you are ready to talk to them and interact with them. It's only a bonus. It is only helping you build a brand. And when you're talking to the people behind the brand, there's more confidence in you before buying something. That कि boss, ये बंदा सही लग रहा है. These people who are building it. We know them. We've seen them. We know where this guy lives. We know what he does. How is his day? We know them. So that brings more confidence in people, and it's only a positive. So any of the founders over there who feel that, this guy is so he talks well. No one is born a speaker, or no one is born only like that. Sometimes you don't know the story behind what has happened. Someone could So it's not my story. I've always been an extrovert. I'm again telling you this, and I'm being very frank, so that there's no hidden thing. I've told a lie. I have always liked talking. I love debates. I used to always be on the stage. So I'm different. I agree. I like this, But I know a lot of people who've never been this confident, who've always been introverts, but over a period of time have evolved, and they've said that, okay, let me try, let me. They've started the first time when they spoke on stage, they were really scared, they were this. But when you do it again and again and again, it builds that confidence in you, and then you understand that it's not difficult, it's easy. You can do it. And I think everyone should try. Although you may be born or you may be an introvert all your life, you may have less friends, you may have this, but if you want to, it's always a nice thing to be out there and try and put your point of view forward.
Okay. Do you have a brick and mortar store at all, or are you just present online right now?
No, so we sell through retail outlets. We don't have our own store. Our
Okay.
model is not of having our own stores. But the first thing that we've now attempted at doing is having our own QSR, a quick service restaurant, because that is like a. Yeah. So this is something kind of a small dream which I had, which is our own QSR. The biggest QSR that I always looked up to was McDonald's, and I said, "Kabhi to chota sa chalu karenge. Let's see how it works." So Wakao is something that we've just started, and our first outlet today. We've put up a small stall at IFI International Film Festival of India, which is happening, and we're looking at the feedback, at the turnout, seeing how it works, and then we'll see whether we want to take it to the next level. How do we do it? So it's just a start. I always believe in starting really small, experimenting, testing the waters, and Goa has been my favorite testing playground. And we're going to have a lot of tourists coming in. So yeah, so this is going to be our first brick and mortar kind of a thing. Where we're going to give dishes served out, not products. And yeah, let's see how that works.
How has the response been at your stall?
It's just started today, so
Oh, okay.
I'm yet to go there. So after this call, I'm going there now to see what's happening. But
Okay, so
yeah,
this is just a trial, or have you already put a roadmap in your mind?
there is a roadmap, but
Oh, okay.
this is a trial because we want to also see uh, the logistics connected with it, whether we can handle it, whether we can do all of it. Because it's like a restaurant business, right? We weren't doing that. We were into a product business, we were selling products. So this is a much more challenging model, and we want to see how well we can cope up with it, and then probably we'll take small baby steps.
Okay. So, would you focus on this particular way of expanding, or are you going to, you know, continue with the earlier model of expanding through outlets?
So there is no one way or the other. We are
Hmm.
trying always. We are looking at different channels of sales. We do exports, we do retail, we do online sales. We do a lot of horeca food distribution. So that's our core business. This is a new thing that we are experimenting with right now. Time will tell whether it really works for us, or maybe we'll have to look at something else. So it's it the life of an entrepreneur is always like that. You try something, you check, test, works, take it to the next level, keep expanding. If not, be very agile to quickly move and go back, fall back to something else. So yeah, so we are working in different 3 or 4 different channels of sales. We are building networks and building distribution channels across different regions, and whichever one gives us the biggest cake, piece of the cake, is the one which will have most of our attention.
Piece of the wing, or rather. This is sounds great. I think holds a lot of promise.
Thank you.
Let's see where that leads you to. My last question is, what has
Yeah.
been the greatest or one of the biggest challenges that you faced in your journey to this?
In the sense, just challenge as such.
Yeah, or challenges, or what has been, the
A
ups and
lot of
downs, that
challenges every day.
what really stands out in your journey as an entrepreneur, that you say, हाँ इससे मैं बहुत सीखा, या ये तो मुझे बहुत
So I'll
याद
tell you
रहेगा.
what. Initially, when we started performance marketing, and it was very new, and we just started, and this is before Shark Tank, and we got a very good ROAS. We got a ROAS is return on ad spend. We got like a
Yes,
5 ROAS,
yes.
and it was like wow, super. When we spent small money on it, not like a lot, and we were so excited, and I thought, and I immediately did the math. I said कि अभी मैं 2 लाख डालूंगा 10 लाख निकलेगा फिर मैं like that one famous politician said, "Na, आलू डालो सोना निकलेगा." Like that, I thought like I'll put another 10 lakhs and then and I started extrapolating and I thought this is a great model. But as we started increasing our budgets and increasing certain things, we realized that the ROAS kept on dropping, and reality struck in that this is not that simple. This has a lot of more complications to it. It's difficult, and what happens is, you build a particular roadmap, and suddenly that roadmap is, it's like a balloon which has a small prick and it bursts, and then you are like, shit, I've already put in so much money. Now this is not working. What next? And there have been times, so then there have been times when it's just fallen flat, and then you have to quickly pull up yourself again and see what is the other way. And the last 3 years have been just repeated bouts of this. And I think in the last 6 months or so, we've actually found our feet and understood where we want to really sell, what's working for us. Because it took us almost 2.5 years to figure out in the first place कि ये बिकेगा कहाँ पे, कौन खाएगा, किसको पसंद आएगा, क्या फ्लेवर पसंद आएगा, what is the sweet spot in pricing. And that's why that journey was so much more difficult, because there's no, it was like a blue ocean thing. There was no one sold jackfruit before this. No one sold such products in India. I didn't have any feedback to fall on of someone's experience. किसने ऐसे किया, ये चलता है. So we had to do it, learn it, change, move, change, move, and I think that's how it worked for us. And I think, and that's a good thing, when you build some things by failing and by learning and by understanding, it gives you more strength in your belief system also. Ki, okay, we've done this, we've realized. And today, when there are 150 restaurants who are ordering our products continuously over and over again, month on month, you realize that the product is working. Product to chal raha hai. Now it's how to make that 150 to 1,500, how to make the 10,000, how to take it from 5 countries to 10 countries. Now the challenge is that. So you realize कि product ठीक है, product market fit मिल गया है. But to get that product market fit, it takes time, and it takes a lot of patience, perseverance, and quite a lot of money. So yeah, and for me that was all bootstrapped. This is my fourth venture, so I literally put everything that I had and that I had earned in my previous ventures into this because I believed in what we were building. And so now is the time for us to take it to the next level. We've somehow crawled from 1 to 10. Now we want to move to 100. So now we'll need that insulin booster dose. And we'll look at getting in some good investors who understand and who are aligned with us.
All the best for your plan and your venture for
Thank you.
Wakao. Thank you so much for talking, Sairaj.
Thank you. Pleasure.